Okay, I want to talk a little bit about how you search for angles. Let's look at this first, and also proportions and distance. So one of the things you want to do if you're looking at an animal that's facing the front, an animal face, it's just like a human portrait. You want to figure out the angle that the two eyes line up. That might be different than how each eye is angling. So notice that the two eyes line up horizontally in this particular case because he's front face, but the eye itself from corner to corner on those black dots is an angle. So watch for that. And then the iris is circular, but it won't be a full circle, just like on a human face. It'll be partially covered up by the eyelid, and the pupil is smack in the middle of the iris, but because it's being cut off by the eyelid a little bit, this is actually the full circle of the iris, so the pupil appears to be up higher, even though it really is in the circle. Carefully pay attention to the shape of the nose. Also, look and see how much space is from the nose to the mouth, or from the nose to the edge. You might change the size of it, but still in proportion, how much space is the nose taking up in the muzzle, and what's the placement of it? Is it down low on the muzzle or up higher? The other thing that's really important is how much space, what's the negative space between the eye and the nose, or the bottom of the eye and the top of the nose. The tendency is to make the eyes too high. Look at the eyes are about halfway up the head of this mammal. Just like in a human, we tend to put the eyes too high. And the smaller or the younger the person or animal is, if you have a person's face and their eyes are halfway, and there's about one eye width in between a human face, so there's an adult human. But if you do the same size face and you lower the eyes and make the nose bridge not as long, you see how right away this looks like a baby human, or it could look like a puppy or a kitten, because the same thing happens. The nose bridge gets longer, the muzzle gets longer, and you start to get more space as the mammal gets older. And that's on mammals. So if you're drawing a little kitten or a puppy, watch for that. Okay, and then of course there's the fur. Think of all the different ways you can create that texture, scraping and fan brush, and really pay attention to the darks and lights. I'm sorry there's a fold in this magazine photo, but it's a great photo to show some of that. Now here's just a basic front face, but what happens when you start to turn the face 3/4 or tilt it? So here's the eyes going like this, the nose bridge would be like this, and then especially if it's 3/4, there's going to be more space on this side than on that side. So here's those things happening. And then what viewpoint are you looking? Are you looking at down at them or up at them? Are they tilting up or down? So there's all these things to consider. So one of the things I would do is take a pencil and show the angle of how the two eyes are lining up, and then draw your line on your page and make sure that the pencils are parallel. Of course, making sure that the photograph and your paper that you're painting on is also not tilted. So, and then how much space is from the edge of the eye to the edge of the face compared to this? So you can tell he's turning a little bit. He's 3/4. So that will mean all of the spaces change. It might mean that the mouth has changed a little bit. There's a nice cast shadow. So you'll have to watch for that and maybe draw it out like a paint by number with all of those shapes. Same thing with a bird. If you can think about the angles, what's the angle of going from the breast of the bird to the tail? or is the tail up, you know? What are the angles of the legs? I think I showed on my video, my gesture video, the chicken legs were not going straight up and down, they're angling. So watch for all those things.